Was Philip a maintenance or?
No, he'll be day to day, so not a maintenance day. Hope to have him tomorrow. He had an upper body that was bothering him today, so we'll see tomorrow.
Looking back at the tape last night, was there anything that sticks out to you this morning after the fact, or?
No, it felt like it did. Kind of alluded back to even the Winnipeg game. It felt like it did, and it did last night. I think we graded only one grade A slot chance against, then a lot of perimeter, 6 or 7 perimeter. So it felt like a solid game all around, and watching it back, it was. And again, I think we got what we deserved, and that was the win.
Derek, is this really this particular stretch, and it ends with that 3 and 4 on the road? Is it tough to balance practice and games?
Absolutely, and we're trying to figure it out. We took our first optional yesterday in a while, and it worked. We had fresh bodies. And then just the uniqueness of the schedule, we'll probably take an optional again tomorrow. The afternoon game in Colorado kind of screws things up in that we probably sort of met at the plane, but we need to practice because next time we'll hit the ice is the game in Colorado. So it puts us 10 days in a row, which is not ideal. But I think we're doing a fairly good job trying to manage it.
Who's in goal for you tomorrow?
Billy Hughes will be in goal tomorrow.
Is Alex going to play tonight in Grand Rapids and then bring him up? Or
Don't know the plan. He's playing tonight, and then we'll go from there.
But you're bringing him on the trip?
Not necessarily. We don't know yet. Because I think technically his conditioning stint will run through Monday, and they play Monday. So I think that's something Steve, the management group, and Ben Simon would have to figure out.
Derek, I know you're used to playing afternoon games, but is Monday 3 o'clock, does that really
I don't think
have any
so.
effect at all?
No. We just have different routines. The whole COVID era TV now, guys are used to. I don't think it'll be an issue at all.
Columbus tomorrow, I mean, I know what you're probably going to say, but look, they're not playing well, they're struggling. Is it tough? I mean, do you have to reset them at all, or?
Of course, we're not that team to overlook or take anyone lightly. We are the other end of that team sometimes. So no, this is another game that we'll have a chance to win if we're at the top of our game, and that'll be our opportunity tomorrow.
We've talked a lot about up and down stretches. You're pretty much halfway through the season. Are you encouraged that there's been overall progress?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think some of the up and down has been results, because our play, I think we're 5-4-1 our last 10. The overall 5-5 play has been pretty. We talked about Winnipeg, in which we won, but those previous games, there's a lot of good things there. Probably the most sporadic up and down has been our special teams. Yeah, of course, I think we're at 43 right now. One more game, the midway point, could be on pace for 90 points. I think anybody, myself, guys in the locker room, the average fan, the media, our expectations, if we would have sat here at this right now, we all would have taken it. We got there in a different route at times, with some of the up and down of the results, but yeah, there's some progress here, but we've got to keep it going. This just feels like an opportunity.
What do you view as kind of the biggest place you guys need to improve in the second half?
Consistency of their special teams, probably, but our overall game, and again, I haven't been shy about this all year. We have to play a complete game to win, and when we've done that, our 18 times, we've played a complete game. Keep going back to that Winnipeg as maybe the one outlier, but if we get a bad goalie performance, if we're sloppy in special teams, if we're sloppy with our puck play, if we're sloppy with our coverage, we're not going to win. And hopefully in time we can. You look at some of the elites in our league. I mean, the team last night is an example. I experienced a lot of that in Tampa, where we didn't have to be at our best to win. We have to be, which I think our guys understand that.
Tough was
Go ahead, Max. Or
For going through kind of this recent, do you feel like you guys are more comfortable now in a game that's 2-1 for 90%?
Absolutely, of course. We put ourselves in that situation a lot, and yeah, of course, I think we're comfortable in that. And I think we've performed fairly well. I think, I saw a stat where we were plus 9 or 10 in the third period, which surprised me. I get so caught up in just the moment and where we're at, and we're a minus 10 team on the year. So that says something for the guys.
You were hoping depth was going to be one of the strengths coming into this season. Has it played out that way?
100%.
All the injuries you had up front?
100%. We're getting close to a fairly full roster right now, and we're 2-0 since we've had that. We had a fairly full roster in our first 2 games of the year. Before Bert broke his hand, we were 2-0. And again, we're not going to be 82-0 with a full roster. But those in-betweens, there were some thin nights. 6 to 5 to 7 guys out, and we stayed afloat in there. This group last year went through those injuries. As you guys saw, mid-season, three-quarter season, they had no chance. We've gave ourselves a chance every night, no matter what our roster's been, and that's a sign of depth.
Is he any time?
Still in that same, talked to Pete last night, probably in that 7 to 10 days. He's had something. He's had some ups and downs, which is understandable with a low body. Like, talked to him 2 days ago, the best I've ever felt, and then I think it was a major, surgery. Again, I'm not a doctor, but he's had some ups and downs. I think you want to get into that consistency. Let's have 4, 5, 6 days in a row where he feels good.
So now it doesn't sound like this trip.
I would not expect him on this trip. Could be maybe towards the end of it, if that's an early end of that time frame, maybe. But I would not expect him available on this trip.
Has there been any discussion of sending him for conditioning when he's ready?
No, we haven't had those yet, but I'm sure everything's on, especially someone's been out this long, so possibly. But yeah, we haven't discussed that.
Derek, this might be a little premature to ask you this question. We still have half a season to go, and I know you don't look at the standings yet. Teams that, let's say, you're chasing for the wild card spot, you seem to have significant amount of games at hand. Is that an advantage or disadvantage, or is it too early to even look?
Probably too early, but of course it would be an advantage. Like, you get some of those wins, they do become 4-point type wins. Like, even winning 2 in a row, it's amazing. Our staff told me we're 4th in the division now, and I didn't, it felt like not long ago we were flirting with 8th in the division. So I think it can be an advantage, but just got to win your games, play the right way. That'll probably take care of itself.
How big has it been recently, I guess, big picture, to have guys like Berger and Valeno, the guys who are going to be here a long time, taking on more of the load, not just the veterans?
Awesome. The depth. You need your young guys pushing all the time. You need those young guys to maybe overachieve a little bit, and they've done that. Both guys have given us a ton, and you can see increased role, increased minutes, which is a good sign. Hopefully they can keep that going and show some consistency in their play.
What's different about Berggren today than at the beginning when he wasn't, of those young guys, the one who kind of made the opening there?
Yeah, it probably his overall game probably didn't get enough opportunity. I liked him. I had a really, maybe one of the advantages of coming in here blind, especially for him. It was easy to watch back 40 Detroit Red Wing games last year and get a feel for each individual. My first true look at Berggren was camp, and I liked him. Hence when that time came, it was an easy decision and to put him in good opportunities. So I just think his more consistency, overall confidence with the puck. You saw him in camp. He was not this. And I just think you grow, and then you maybe build a little confidence, get some chemistry with some players. Maybe the NHL game is sometimes a little more controlled game. That might have helped him because he's a very cerebral player. He's been great.
Derek, has Husso probably been the best surprise of this first half? Remember 20-game mark, you'd probably say he
Yeah.
was the MVP, and
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's still.
He's been excellent, and again, I know he went through a little bit of a rough stretch there, but, you know, I think that was a little overuse, and he got sick at the same time. Maybe we ran him into sickness, I don't know. But yeah, you know, now he's getting into these, you know, he's never been a starter or took on a lot of volume in starts, and now, you know, we're going to get into some uncharted territory with him, and I think he's going to handle it well.
So you really need a second guy there to help you out.
Of course we do. Andre Vasilevsky needs a second guy. You know, the best in the world need a second guy. And it's something we've addressed and we've been trying. We've liked what Magnus has given us. He's given us a couple wins. Neto's going down and working his game. He'll get some more. So it's a point of emphasis for us.